Germans have gathered in Magdeburg to mourn the tragedy that killed 5 people and injured 200 others after a Saudi man rammed his car into a crowd in a Christmas market. Authorities warn that 41 people are injured badly enough that the death toll could rise. A memorial service took place in the city's cathedral for relatives of the victims, while several hundreds of other people gathered on the city's central square, some laying flowers and lighting candles for the victims of this attack. For more on this story, our Berlin correspondent in Magdeburg, Nick Holdsworth, has more. Nick, have you spoken to some of the relatives of the victims, the mourners? What do they have to say about this attack?
Well, of course, people are absolutely appalled. They're in deep grief, or they're feeling very angry about what has happened. We now know that a 9-year-old boy died along with 4 women aged between 45 and 75. And the city is really in a state of shock, and there are extremes being exhibited here. At the early hours of this morning, the police arrested a number of local people who were demonstrating in favour of the attacker, showing their support for the attack. At the same time, we've seen the far-right party, the Alternative for Deutschland, the AfD, their parliamentary head is calling for a debate on security measures in Germany, and the head of the far-left party, Sarah Wagenknecht, is demanded to know why authorities did not act on tips from the Saudi Arabian special services, who identified a year ago Talib al-Abdul Muhsin as a security risk. He had called on social media for the death of Angela Merkel, for example. He had asked rhetorical questions such as, does it take an attack on a German embassy or the slaughter of innocent Germans to wake the German government up to the plight of Saudi Arabians in Germany? It was clear that this man was a risk, and apparently authorities did nothing about it or even assessed him not as a risk.
And we now know a little more about this, the attacker's profile. Will we be able to determine a clear motive in the coming hours, days?
So far, the authorities haven't said too much. The local regional prosecutor has said that it's apparent that the attacker was motivated by his criticism of what he says was Germany's alleged ill treatment of Saudi Arabians living in Germany. He'd been working to help people from Saudi Arabia and the Middle East find their way to Germany. He'd been helping refugees. At the same time, he'd been espousing a lot of different views, extremist views, support for the far right-wing party AfD, and getting into trouble with the authorities. He was fined in 2013 in a court for extremist statements online, and he was due in court just the day before the attack. He was due in court last Thursday in Berlin for making fake calls to the fire and emergency services. So clearly a troubled individual, and difficult to say exactly what his motives were, but Muslim groups who were aware of him said that he hated anybody who didn't share his hatred of the German authorities.
And the Scholz government is under pressure following this attack, especially after Saudi Arabia reported, as you said, that they warned Germany about the assailant. With the upcoming snap elections in February coming up in Germany, what can we expect?
Well, we can expect that security in Germany, immigration, foreign nationals from the Middle East, they're all going to be under the focus, and certainly there are a lot of Muslims in Germany, and there are anxieties that they will be identified as a threat. There's certainly going to be a lot of political focus on this, and it's looking like this will become the focal point for those upcoming elections, and that's what the far right and the far left want as they squeeze the centre for votes on February the 23rd.
That was Nick Holdsworth for us in Magdeburg. Thank you.